What's going on, everybody? On YouTube, Griffin here, coming back to you guys with another live stream on this warmer than usual Sunday. It's been pretty cold here in the Texas area. But wanted to hop on here, of course, just to give you guys another live stream. I'm also recording it as a podcast as well on the back end for those of you that may miss it. It'll be on the podcast here on YouTube, as well as, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff for you guys. And of course, if you're new to me and new to how our streams work and all that type of stuff, I keep the chat pulled up, like I'm sure you guys can probably see on your screen as well currently. And you guys just fire away. I even have it pulled up here on a separate screen as well on my iPad monitor as well. So, I should be able to see your all's questions and everything as they come in. And, we have like an overall theme, quote unquote, for the live stream every time we go live, just to kind of fill in between whenever I'm waiting for you guys to ask questions, or I've already gone through questions from, I pull questions from Discord, our Facebook group, all that type of stuff. And then, of course, actual Facebook comments as well, and like I said, just fire away, which is actually what I'm getting pulled up right now, some of the YouTube comments, because I almost forgot that we had a couple this week that I wanted to get to. We try to do these live streams for you guys at least once a week. Ideally, it depends on, of course, just how busy I am and my schedule and all that. It's actually a blessing that I was able to make it for you guys this week. That's why we scheduled the stream so late, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it. It's been a crazy week. We had a lot of rain here in the Dallas, Texas area, and was running a little bit behind this week, so playing catch up, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know that are in the pest control industry. And if you don't know who I am, of course, which I know a lot of you that are tuning in right now probably do, but for anybody that's going to be tuning in, after this goes from like a live to a video, my name is Griffin Thomas. Of course, I own a pest control company, Preferred Pest Management, in the Dallas, Texas area. We've been in business for, 3 going on 4 years now, and I just kind of document, what works for us, what doesn't work. And when I say us, it's primarily me. I've had 1 or 2 employees. Sorry about that. I'm getting over a cold or something. But, just document everything that, works for us, what doesn't work, and hopefully, guide you guys in a direction where you will not waste as much money as I've wasted, just in what I like to call tuition, to the game, to, entrepreneurship, business ownership, whatever you want to refer to this as. It's all a game at the end of the day, but how I look at everything is, you got to pay tuition at the end of the day. And either you can learn from other people's money they spend on tuition, or you can, go out and do a lot of things. And I mean, obviously, you're not going to lose money in business ever. I mean, anyone tells you that, you're not going to lose any money is a liar. That's a whole different subject for a different day. But just kind of document all that for you guys. So if you have any questions, of course, I see we got some chats coming in. What's going on? John Loaded Locks Henry. That's a dope name. Got my Lamar jersey on. Yeah, I'm getting ready for that, as a matter of fact. That's why today's stream is actually going to be slightly shorter than usual. A lot of times we'll go into, an hour to even 2 hours. Today we're probably going to keep it short to about half an hour or so, because, of course, my team somehow, in the worst year that we've had in like 5 or 10 years, managed to make it this far. So, but good luck. And let's see, what's going on? Natural Pest Management, how's it going? Jay Gadget, what's up? Great channel, great advice. Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, and it's not even like quote unquote for me or anything like that. Like I said, it's just me documenting everything more than anything, because I notice like YouTube is kind of one of my main search engines, so to speak. Like I don't really go to Google for a lot. I will go to YouTube, and I notice when it comes to the pest control industry, marketing, pest control, this and that and the other, just a lot of stuff that is behind the scenes of pest control. no one was really posting a lot. I mean, there'd be marketing agencies, of course, that would post videos on, you know, how to start a Google ad, how to do this, but they were kind of more so leaving a lot of important stuff out to try to get you as a client, of course, where, you know, I was like, maybe I can fill some sort of void, and, you know, I'm gonna have to do this one way or another. I might as well teach some people along the way, and if nothing else, they can learn from my experience. I always try to preface everything with the fact that, you know, a lot of the stuff that we're doing is like first time or work in progress, you know, things of that nature, especially when it comes to advertising, because the advertising game changes so frequently. I'll probably even do a stream or video for you guys about our Google ads before long. As a matter of fact, someone that we actually shouted out on this channel reached out to me. You guys may remember on one of the recent it was either a live stream or a video about my Google ads update, I mentioned a woman by the name of Michelle Kopp. She actually found out that I shouted her out and actually called me. We talked for like half an hour just about Google ads, and, you know, she has a YouTube channel, of course, where I take a lot of advice from for Google ads and things of that nature. And we have some things in the works for you guys that hopefully will definitely benefit you guys as well. Kind of like a collaboration type of thing, so to speak. It's probably going to be a while before that stuff comes out, because we're setting up like a meeting, like a Google Meet or something like that, Zoom meeting, this upcoming week, I believe Wednesday or Thursday. And then, of course, it's all on her. It's like on her end. It's not me. So however long it takes her team to do all the editing and stuff like that, she said it'd probably take, you know, a few weeks at the most for that to go up. But yeah, just awesome just to network with people in general. And again, like I said, that's the main reason I do this, because like you can never, ever plan on growing your business without people. And the only way to network with people is by giving them their, you know, their, what's the word I'm looking for? Giving them not just their props, but, you know, giving them credit. Like when you learn stuff from people, like don't be afraid to shout them out, because no one knows everything, right? You know, and you'll be amazed by the doors that are open because of that. And that'll help not just you, but your viewers and, you know, your maybe employees, things of that nature. How's it going, JVJ? I think you were the one that might have emailed me recently. I just seen that overnight when I couldn't sleep because my nose has been stuffed up. I plan on replying to that email for you here, maybe today or tomorrow. Natural pest management. Yes, appreciate your channel. Using one of your videos to set up a landing page. Wasted a bunch of money on Facebook ads and targeting Google now. Yeah, and I'll say straight up, which is actually one of the questions I'm going to get into here in just a second, that one of you guys asked on, it was either a video or a post that we had on YouTube about like Facebook ads and the agency that we were using for that briefly for a few months. But yeah, I found that Facebook ads, just, I guess we can kind of start with that, just kind of dive right into the questions. I forget who it was now off the top of my head, but they asked, you know, do you have an update for us on that agency, that AI agency that you were using for Facebook ads? And yes, kind of feeds off of what Natural Pest Management was just saying there, which is it did not work that well, just being honest. And there's no, and I actually have a short that's going to be coming out this upcoming week kind of about it too. Just in terms of, you know, there's no hard feelings with that company or anything like that. I can just tell, you know, just like AI in general, right? It's all in its infancy. It's all brand new. Like I compare it to when cell phones first came out, right? Cell phones used to be these giant, what they call them, like bag phones. I wasn't even like, I think I was like just born when these came out, but, you know, they were just huge, right? And when you look at that today, where like we literally have a laptop in our hand, right? You know, we've come a long way in terms of that technology. I think the same thing's going on with AI. I think long term, I even told them, I was like, I'm keeping you guys like saved in my bookmarks for, you know, under my pest control business on my desktop and all that. But, you know, it's just too early. It's not really working well for us. It was getting us leads. Don't get me wrong. It's just a lot of the leads. Like I got way more leads. I'll put it this way. It wasn't a total failure because I got more leads during my time with them than I ever got from Facebook ads, like ever doing it myself. So I'll give them credit for that. The only issue is that the leads were very unqualified. It was mostly lower income people that just ultimately couldn't afford the service at the end of the day. And, you know, regardless of how much they tried tweaking it, this and that and the other, it just wasn't really working at the end of the day. So it didn't work for us. However, like I said, there's no hard feelings or anything. Like I said, I may even use them in the future. They are now even doing it with Google Ads as well, implementing their technology in Google Ads, which I found kind of interesting. I think it may even work better for Google Ads. It's just, you know, I've already learned so much on the Google Ads side that, you know, I just told him, I was like, I'm good. Like, I'll keep my eye on you all. The company, just so you all are aware, is called Adexo. It's like ADEXO. Adexo AI or Adexo Advertising AI, something of that nature. I don't know what's going on with my webcam. I know it keeps flashing occasionally. But yeah, no, they, like I said, I mean, it wasn't a total failure or anything like that. It just, you know, didn't really work for us ultimately. And we didn't just try them for like a couple weeks or anything. I'm gonna see if it helps by going over to this. We can just go over to my screen and go over here. We'll go over to ClickSees real quick. Do this. There we go. See if that helps with the camera and whatnot. I noticed it was flashing a little bit there for you guys. But yeah, my whole thing was, like I said, I mean, we didn't just use them for like a couple weeks and drop it or anything. Like, we used them for a solid 2 to 3 months. And I think that was a pretty good sample size, in my opinion, to kind of have an idea of where we stood on it. And it just didn't really work for us. And they even offered me a discount because I was going to cancel after like a month or so. And they offered me a discount, 50% off for the next 2 months. So I was like, I mean, I guess I'll go ahead. You know, I'm getting 2 months for the price of one, right? I might as well, you know, at least give them an honest chance. Because I knew, I was like, 1 month, I mean, it's kind of early. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll give you guys that 2 months. And it just, like I said, just didn't work for us ultimately. But yeah, Google Ads are definitely, in my opinion, the best route for us pest control companies. Let's see. Yes, it was me. No problem. Take your time. I know you're busy, man. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, sometimes some of y'all will hit me up and will hit me up again and again. And I mean, yeah, I'm definitely busy. I appreciate your all's patience. For those of you that like email me or message me or whatever the case may be on like Facebook, Discord, etc. Yeah, definitely busy for sure. Another question here, and like I said, if you're in the chat right now, just feel free to fire away your questions about, you know, the pest control business and whatnot. Otherwise, I'll hop into this question here from Tropical Fruit Loops on YouTube. Commented on the short from yesterday about this stream, because he said going to be on the road, but he'll be turning in, or he or she, I believe it's a he, will be tuning in. So what kind of profit margin do you aim for? I had a moment there where I was earning good revenue, but literally losing money. So I'm assuming Tropical Fruit Loops, I didn't respond. I'm actually going to give him a heart. That way he'll know that I'm answering the question right now. That can be this is where you have to really pay attention to your cash flow of your business. That's why, like, of course you can use QuickBooks, right? We like to also use EveryDollar. EveryDollar is free. It's just a budgeting app. You know, it's a basic budgeting app that we even use like for our personal expenses. You know, we got like 2 separate accounts, one for personal and then one for the business. And what I'll do is I will literally, you can even connect your bank accounts to make it easier. But like what I'll do is just at least once a week, I will go in there and track, you know, every transaction, track every dollar that's coming in, where it's coming from, and just get a good breakdown in terms of where are we at on the month. Are we net positive? Are we net zero? Are we negative? Like, where are we at in terms of cash flow? Because what may be happening, you know, in the case of Tropical Fruit Loop said, you know, had a lot of momentum where I was earning good revenue, but literally losing money. So there's a couple things that could be happening there. You could be spending so much on advertising, and like you have leads coming in and your closing rate may be low. You know, that's one example that we even had when we first started up. Like, I had calls coming in like rapid fire to where I almost couldn't even keep up with it, especially with Google Local Services when, you know, we joined that very early on when Local Services was still brand new. But with that, our closing rate was slightly low early on, and even though the cost per lead was low, since our closing rate was low, we weren't really making money that first month or so. We were making our money on the back end, but we weren't really making money up front, if that makes sense. So that's usually kind of the most common, is people will spend so much on advertising, and with the advertising, you know, if your closing rate isn't high enough, you can either be at, you know, net zero, where you're not making money, you're not losing money, or in this case, like Tropical Fruit Loop said here, you know, you could even be losing money up front at least. That's kind of the main thing that's why I started with that in terms of possibilities that could be going on, is because that's where a lot of people will be. They'll be spending anywhere between $200 to $400, something crazy, per customer acquisition, where, you know, ideally we would like to keep that around, you know, I mean, super ideally it would be 75 to $100, but ideally under $150 per acquisition. That's going to make it where, depending on what you're selling with that ad, you know, you're going to be in the positive from day one, especially if you're like us, where we try to get a whole year's worth of money up front from the customer with our promos that we're running. We've talked about that a few times on the channel, about like how we structure our promos to where the only way you really get the promos if you pay for the year. Otherwise, you know, you can still get X amount off. It's just not the same as, you know, the promo, and our closing rate is unaffected by that. It's all with how you package it at the end of the day. But that's the main reason. The other, you know, like I said, I mean, there's a few reasons, or many reasons, as a matter of fact, why you could be still losing money, even though you're seeing positive growth and, you know, revenue increasing, as it sounds here for Tropical Fruit Loops. Which I think they just hopped in the chat here. How's it going? Yep. Tropical Fruit Loops just landed an $800 exclusion job. Not much, but my highest ticket yet. Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, I actually just did an exclusion job earlier this week. Got another one here that might even have two this week that I have to do. That first one that I did this week was right around $1,500. The one I'm doing tomorrow is also right around $1,600. And then if I sell this other one, that one's around $1,900, plus 1 year of general pest control as well added in there too. And that was a referral, which I'm going to get into the importance of referrals in another video, or a short even, for you guys as well. But yeah, Tropical Fruit Loops, what I was hitting on for you is, as I got ClickSees just pulled up here in the background for you guys, we'll talk about ClickSees and Google Ads here in a minute. But where I was getting at with your whole point of like how your income, or your revenue, I should say, for your business is going up, but you still may be quote unquote losing money. There's a lot that can be going into it. One, closing rates could be too low. Cost per lead can be too high. Cost per acquisition could be too high. You know, all that kind of goes in to the same, you know, just what our cost per acquisition is at the end of the day versus what we are selling. And then of course, you know, one thing could be you're not charging enough for service too. You know, you just said the exclusion job for $800. There are jobs, for example, with exclusions that I'll do for, you know, very rare, I should say, for under $1,000. You know, if I'm doing an exclusion job, for example, for under, I'm just using exclusion because that's what you posted there. And plus I just sold, you know, 2 or 3 this past week. If I'm doing an exclusion job for around $1,000 or less, I'm not even getting on the ladder practically. I mean, I might get on like a 6-foot ladder, but I'm not like getting on the roof or anything. It's all going to be groundwork related. Because, you know, exclusion work, it takes time, especially if it's just you and you have relatively low expertise in it. You know, it's going to take some time to really, you know, learn the craft, because it is a craft. It's a skill to do exclusion work at the end of the day. So, you know, you have to kind of charge accordingly, and not even just with the exclusion, any service. Like, I cannot stress enough to you guys, like, yes, when you're running ads, you're usually giving something up, right? It could be a free service. It could be $50 off a service. You know, just name your price, right? You're giving something up, but at the same time, we are aiming for, in terms of our cost per acquisition, say we spent $100, right? We're just naming random numbers here. $100 to get a customer, I need to make at least $100 on that customer within 30 days. That's our rule of thumb. Like if we cannot at least break even on our ad spend within 30 days, that ad's not performing well enough, or our closing rate's not high enough, or, you know, our pricing, how we're going about the packaging of that deal isn't right either. So, I mean, like I said, there's multiple things, and this is just from the advertising and customer acquisition side of it. You know, answering your question about profit margin, because yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong too, like it's ebb and flows too. Like there's months there's months that I will have in my business where I'm like, shit, I'm like, man, we're spending way too much on acquisitions right now. But I know, because I am at least to the point where, you know, the business is cash flowing itself, that I'm kind of to a point where like I'm okay with that. It's just like I said, I at least want to be at break even at the minimum within 30 days on a new acquisition, if that makes sense. How's it going, Karate Chick? Do you have any videos like how you do exclusion work? I do not yet. So I just purchased a drone. It's like one of those follow me drones recently, where like it'll like follow you, literally how it sounds. And I like can't find it. I'm planning on finding it, you know, today, tomorrow, as a matter of fact, because I have another, you know, 1 or 2 exclusion jobs lined up this upcoming week. But I do plan on, you know, longer term, you know, creating more videos for you guys around like, especially the exclusion side. I found a lot of you guys are very interested in learning like the exclusion side of the business. For those of you that don't know what exclusion is, it's just a rodent service where we're essentially sealing up a home. Now, I hate using the word sealing up because a lot of people think, oh, you're not supposed to seal a home up. Yes, we're not literally sealing it up to where the home can't breathe. We're just sealing it up, buttoning it up to where rodents pretty much can't get in. I say pretty much because obviously crazy shit can happen. You can't control if the home shifts crazy and a new gap forms, right? There's some things you can't control at the end of the day, but you know, it's a good service that, you know, will really, again, if you take pride in your work and everything like that, it'll help your customer out, you know, big time going forward. I don't know why that popped up. I'm working on something on the back end and it freaking just popped up this subscribe now thing. But yeah, I do plan on creating some more content for you guys around that specifically, because I noticed I actually asked on Discord, I think it was, if I remember, was it Discord? It was either Facebook or Discord. I posted like last night. I was like, would you guys like me to do a video on how to make these? I think it was Discord, actually. I think it was Discord. Let me see. Yeah. So I posted a picture of, you know, some vents that I'm trying to see if I can like zoom in, maybe. No. You know, some roof vents that we covered. I always call them attic vents because they go to the attic, but they're roofing vents technically, that we covered up. And I make these cages myself. So I just asked, you know, would you guys like to learn, you know, have a video on how I do these for like $5 a cage? And a lot of you guys were, you know, saying, yeah, definitely do that. So I do plan on, you know, coming out with some stuff like that in the future for you guys as well. How's it going there, Bipolar Gemini? I see we got like half a dozen of you tuning in right now too. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream so far. If you are, do me a favor and smash the thumbs up button. Lets me know that you guys like the live streams and all that good stuff. If you're wondering too what I have here in the background, this is a tool called ClickSees by Check, I think, CHEQ, ClickSees. It's like a $60-$70 a month tool that helps prevent bot activity on your Google ad campaigns. You know, for example, we've been using them for, I think, like 2 weeks now. Let's just see. Something like that. Let's see what it says here. So yeah, for example, it says here that it saved us 35 fraudulent clicks at an average price we're paying right now of $15 per click. You know, $15-$20 per click. That's saving us, you know, anywhere between $500 to like $700 in terms of fraudulent click activity. We've been using it for, like I said, just a couple weeks now, and you can see here, I mean, it's legit. I mean, it's blocked stuff from Vietnam, Colombia, Bangladesh, Brazil, of course, some US ones as well. You can go in there and, it'll tell you that, VPNs, it's blocked. Over threshold means that they've clicked on your ad more than, whatever you set that as. For me, I put it as more than, twice, I think. Twice within like X amount of days. So it's blocked 2 people. That means, that they're literally just habitually clicking on your ad without obviously doing anything. Bounced, of course, we set that as 7 seconds. I was like, if someone is on our website for less than, in all honesty, 10 seconds, but I would put it as 7. If they're on your website for less than 5 to 10 seconds, they don't have any business seeing your ads anymore, at least in my opinion. And then out of geo, of course, is all these that are coming from countries that obviously, we're a service business, right? We're not an e-commerce. We don't have like an e-commerce store or anything where we're sending products or anything overseas, right? So why would people in Brazil or Bangladesh, Colombia, Vietnam, etc. be clicking on our ads, right? So it blocks their IP addresses and, all that good stuff ultimately. And yeah, so far, I mean, seems to be pretty good. I can definitely tell you guys that I've noticed a huge drop in our total clicks ever since this happened, or not happened, but ever since we implemented this service. Some people will say it's doing things like, blocking VPNs and blocking, people that bounce from your website that, could actually harm your ad. But in my opinion, it's something that you're just going to want to play with a little bit. If you notice that you're blocking a bunch of VPNs, then that may mean, in all honesty, that a lot of your potential customers are using a VPN. So you may want to go ahead and take that off. That's the cool thing, is this platform is very easy to, adjust things on the fly. Like you can just go into your settings here. Let's see, we can go into, oh man, it's been a while since I've actually needed to adjust anything. Detection rules, I believe. So yeah, so you can literally go in here. They have suggested rules as well based on your industry. I went ahead and set up my own. Again, you can do it by country in terms of, you only want to allow clicks from the US, which is all we want, of course. VPN blocking, like we said, you could click that off if you wish. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do on here. It's super easy to, like I said, adjust it on the fly if you wish. And they even keep track of things too. So like, in terms of the threat level, when the threat level is low, that means they're not going to block them. That means that somebody that more than likely clicked on your ad with some sort of intent to, either purchase your product or service, they're not going to be blocked. And then substantial and critical, those are the ones that get blocked pretty much immediately. Usually they've encountered at least one, if not more, of these different, things: fraudulent device, disabled JavaScript, out of geo, bounds, VPN, over threshold, whatever the case may be. We're not affiliated with them or anything. Like I said, this is a tool I just found out about recently, and I'm just giving it a try. One of those things where I'm just trying it out for a solid 1 to 3 months, and I'll report back to you guys what I think of it. Is it worth the money? All that type of stuff. But yeah, no, do we have any other questions so far? Doesn't look like in the YouTube chat we do. I'm just going straight down the line here in terms of other YouTube comments and things of that nature. And we already talked about the Facebook AI tool, which if you were wondering about that, you can scroll back. Let's see, we've been live for about 30 minutes now, roughly. I would say if you scroll back about 15 minutes, you'll see where we were talking about that AI Facebook ad tool we were using and the verdict that we had on that. Let's see. Kevin Palmeter asked, have you ever set your ad as maximize conversions and monitor and turn off daily when it comes to Google Ads? So with our Google Ads, We have not. So when it comes to setting up your Google ad in general, by the way, for those of you that are, at the stage of, not just starting your business, but growing it, and you're trying to do, Google ads and things of that nature, we're talking about Google ads here specifically. The main thing is to have your ad actually optimal for the maximized conversions target in terms of, what your campaign setup is, because they'll ask you, what's the goal of your campaign. And if you set it as maximize conversions and you don't have enough conversions for Google to, really base your bidding strategy off of, your, cost per click, cost per lead, etc., is going to be all over the place. Where once you get, from what I've heard around, just the Google ads industry, is once you can get around like 30 conversions in a period of, about a month or so, Google has enough data at that point to where the maximize conversions option is, more optimal than a PPC option at that point. But until you get to that point, you'd want to do PPC. It's going to be the most cost effective. It's going to help you, of course, get more leads because, like I said, when Google doesn't have really anything to base it off of, you're kind of just throwing a dart in the dark, right? So if you're just starting out, I wouldn't suggest going that route. I would just do PPC like we do. And then, once you, depending on your ad budget, once you get to that 30 plus conversions within a month or so, then, you could go ahead and, do like some A to B tests in terms of, what's getting us a better, cost per lead, right? Is it our PPC campaign or is it our maximized conversion campaign? Looking to build my website. Any suggestions? Yeah, that's another good point in terms of this topic for today's stream about, starting your pest control business is building your website. So we suggest using WordPress. That is who our website, it's like I'm dyslexic or something. We use WordPress, and when it comes to just using WordPress, like WordPress is who you're going to build your site through. Then you also need a host. For host, Bluehost is a good one up here, like you see. There's another one that we use for our griffinbthomas.com website for you guys for like business resources and stuff like that. It's called Hostinger. I was hoping to see it somewhere down here, but Hostinger is a pretty affordable one as well, because without a host your website doesn't exist. So what you would do is, let's actually do this. I can show you guys kind of what it would look like on the back end. So you log into Hostinger. This is their quote unquote H panel, which means, like kind of the, not just the back end of your website, but the back end of the back end of your website, if that makes sense. I don't know which login I need to use. I'm just trying to show you guys. Okay, apparently it's not that one. Let's see. No, why would it be that? That doesn't even make sense. It needs my email. Seems like you're trying to with the wrong method. Oh, with Google. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to just show you guys just a quick example here. Come on. Come on, man. What the hell? Oh, I think I might have logged in with the wrong Gmail. But either way, you guys will get a good idea regardless of which account I needed to use here. So whenever you make a Hostinger, it's like free to sign up. However, it costs, depending on which plan you pick, it's going to be very cheap. You're talking roughly like $50 a year, I want to say. You can do it yearly, you can do it monthly, you can do it, 2 years, 5 years, however long, you want to essentially have your domain locked in and all that type of stuff. So let's say, for example, we wanted to take a look at our website that we have for you guys, griffinbthomas.com. Let's see. Yeah, it'll even give you a performance score. I didn't even know that. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool overall. Like I said, this isn't who we use for our pest control website. We actually use Kingsta for that, which is a way more expensive option. Don't even know if it's worth it, in all honesty, which is why I'm actually suggesting you guys use Hostinger instead, because we may end up even switching our pest control website to them. By the way, with Hostinger, I believe you can get like up to, I want to say 5 websites on their like more so basic plan. I forgot how to do this exactly. Let's see, home, do this maybe. Trying to figure out how to get to my, I think I go this way. What's going on? I'm trying to get to like my actual WordPress. Let's see. I actually don't go into the website too often. There we go. Admin panel. So you'd sign up with Hostinger. Like I said, you know, depending on which plan you pick, it comes out to roughly $4 to $6 a month. We'll call it pretty much free. What is going on? Oh, I can't access it right now. Okay. I'll have to do that a different time. But I guess what I can do from here, because it's going to look the same once you actually get into WordPress, you're going to have like your WordPress dashboard. This is going to look the same pretty much for everybody, regardless of who you use for your host. Like I said, the host is just what allows your website to actually work, for people to actually, you know, be able to see your website live, if that makes sense. And then WordPress is who we use to actually build the website. From there, there's tons of free, what do they call them? Let me see, man. Can tell I'm getting over this cold because I'm just having like fog brain right now. Themes, that's what they're called. They have all these different themes that are totally free. The theme that we have was actually made by GorillaDesk. That's this one right here. You can't even really like see anything about it because, you know, they just like gave us our, you know, enough access to see it. But there's tons of free ones. You know, you can go in here and hit add a new theme. If we were to do that, you know, you can search, you know, different industries. You can look up the most popular ones, block themes, you know, whatever the case may be, whatever type of, you know, different website layout that you're looking for. Let's just say we wanted to type in, you know, pest control. Let's see if anything comes up like pest or lawn or something of that nature, right? So, you know, you could probably even take something from one of these cleaning services, and then from there you just start editing it like crazy. You know, obviously you're not going to want 90% of what's in there, but you're going to want that basic, obviously, homepage layout with, you know, a call us button. Actually, this one actually looks pretty good. This is probably one that I would use. Maybe this one over here. Like I said, I mean, the cool thing about it is you can literally go in there and just go crazy with it. You can try as many themes as you want. Obviously, only one of them is going to be live, but you can, you know, test it out. You know, you can look up different ones even. You know, let's look up lawn care. I'm sure there's a lot of lawn care ones. This one doesn't look too bad. Apparently there's only 3 of them to pick for lawn care, but this one doesn't look bad. That one doesn't look bad. This one's got too much going on, but you know, one of those 2 don't look bad. Like I said, we had GorillaDesk build ours, but I mean, the fact that you can get some good ones for free on WordPress, you know, you guys can definitely do it. It's not rocket science at the end of the day. However, if you did want to just say, F it, I want to pay someone else to do it, you can hit up the guys at GorillaDesk and they can do that for you as well. I want to say it's like $1,200 roughly. Don't quote me on that. It may be a little less. But to get that all set up, and then it's like $250 a month if you want them just to like host the website. So see what I mean about like it gets expensive to have other people do it, because you can literally start your own website, have it up and running, you know, within a day, depending on how much time you have to put into it, at least like your basic stuff, like your homepage and stuff like that. And you're talking like we said, about $5 a month. So that is what I would do. And that's, you know, looking back on it, what I should have done. I mean, before that, I used, what was it called? Weebly or something like that. Yeah, Weebly, which is like a Square company, like a website builder. And it just wasn't great. Wasn't able to be optimized very well. Just wasn't really you know, it was worth the price you pay for it at the end of the day. But yeah, that's what I would use. I would use Hostinger or some type of, you know, Bluehost, Hostinger. Those are the top two that most people use that I hear. We use Kingsta, but like I said, that's just from the hosting side. From there, everything you're going to do is on WordPress. So hopefully that kind of helps answer that question. Natural Pest Management says, my dad started his company in 2014. I recently joined the team. He has zero social media or internet presence, trying to focus on building a website and Google Ads at the moment. Scared of growing too fast and not being able to keep up with the work. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the problem you want to have in all on, at least in my opinion. You know, I always tell people, like, you know, customers oftentimes will ask me, you know, how's the business going, this and that and the other, and there'll be times where I'm like, you know, super busy, right? And they're like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess that's good. And I'm like, I always tell them all the same thing. I'm like, yeah, it's better than the alternative, right? You know, I'd rather be super busy, overwhelmed than you know, not having enough clients calling us, right? So, you know, don't be afraid of it. I mean, you're going to be surprised, you know, as a matter of fact, you're going to put in a lot of work, which kind of hits on, you know, this point of like starting your pest control business too, which is, you know, I want to go full screen for you guys for this. Let me go over here. Whoppa. It kind of hits on this point of, you know, when you start your pest control business, I mean, I know in your case, Natural Pest Management, you're kind of helping, you know, kind of take the reins from your dad, it sounds like. But for those of you that are like even just looking at starting a business, this is really going to like hit a point, hit a nerve with a lot of you guys that you need to know. You're going to put in a lot of work in terms of building a website, building a social media presence, getting reviews, things of that nature. And you're going to be surprised how you're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to do it, you know, day in and day out. First 1 to 3, maybe even 3 to 6 months, crickets. Nothing's going to happen. And you're going to be like, wow, this sucks. And yeah, it does. I mean, that's, you know, quote unquote entrepreneurship in a nutshell. Like, you're going to do a lot of shit every single day, and you're going to feel like for a while, like, damn, like, is it worth it? Like, is any of this, like, do people even care? Like, do people notice this? Like, am I doing it right? Like, it's going to be constant doubt, but you got to keep up doing what you know you need to do, because eventually it will start to lead to lots of calls coming in. I just wanted to hit on that for natural pest control because specifically, you know, you were mentioning that, you know, you're worried about getting too many, you know, too many leads or customers, you know, just kind of growing too fast, right? And trust me, early on, you're not gonna have to worry about that at all. Now, I will say, since that company's been in business for like 10 years now, it may gain traction a little bit quicker than a company that, you know, is just starting out, right? Because a company is just starting out, they have zero Google cred, you know, there's zero online cred whatsoever. That's where I would use a tool like SEMrush. You can get a lot of free stuff from SEMrush. They'll let you run like a couple scans a month for free. You know, they're trying to get you reeled in, right? And what you want to do is look up what is your business's domain authority, like the website, and that alone will give you a big idea of, you know, how quick could we potentially scale this operation. Because like for us, for example, our SEMrush score for domain authority, I think was like it was between a 9 to 11. It's been like a month or two since I looked at it, but you know, the domain authority is obviously something that goes from a scale of 1 to 99. Pretty much no one's at 99, especially in the pest control industry. I think even like Terminix and Orkin are like in 60s. You know, domain authority, it's kind of a blown out of proportion type of thing. But, you know, say that company that you're taking over or, you know, helping grow, right? Say their domain authority is in the teens or maybe even low 20s, which would be great. You know, you start doing some of the stuff that we talk about and you will probably start to scale a lot quicker and start having a lot more leads coming in than someone who's starting from scratch, because you already have a foundation with Google that you can build on, especially from the SEO, the online on page SEO, and then of course the local SEO with like your Google business profile, your social media stuff, all that will just kind of fall into place with time as well. So I'd be excited more than anything, to be honest. Don't worry so much about, I could go into a whole nother rant about, worrying about stuff that hasn't even happened yet, right? Like, don't worry about, even you guys know, I'm a believer, follower of Christ. And even if you're not, like, this point will hit home with a lot of you. The Bible talks about how, I think it was Jesus specifically even, who said, I'm kind of summing it up here, but why worry about tomorrow when you got enough to worry about today, right? Like, don't worry about something that may happen, could happen, things of that nature. Like, focus on what you need to do, and then say that stuff does end up happening, you get so busy that you're just overwhelmed, then either A, you start jacking the prices up a little bit because obviously supply and demand, but also you start hiring people. Like, you start to figure out how to be an actual business owner, a CEO, a leader, a hiring manager, all that stuff, right? So hopefully that kind of helps. I feel like I might have missed some stuff here. Tropical Fruit Loops, even the door knock has a price. Gas time, I was burning $1,500 a month, and that's a lot of freaking gas, bro. Let's see. Where were you going spending $1,500 a month? Must be, you're like in California, I think, if I remember right, or somewhere out west. Let's see, what did I miss? I could have swore I missed something. What's going on, Aaron Tucker? Aaron Tucker said, "Hey Griffin, I just got a policy with Lipka. Andy, I remember talking to Andy once or twice. Andy asked how I found out about them, and I gave them your name. They gave me a really decent price. Yeah, no, Lipka's not bad in terms of pricing. Like, they're kind of the quote-unquote gold standard, right? Like, they're one that pretty much everyone knows them, and I think Markle might be another one. I've never used Markle, but I know a lot of people do. And they haven't been bad for me. I mean, shoot, this year we're paying like close to the most we've ever paid with them, right? Makes sense with inflation and everything. Plus, as your business grows, your insurance rate grows, right? Obviously the more business you're doing, the more risk it is for them. Makes sense. And it's still under $1,000 for the full year. So it definitely, makes sense. Says that John Cole message retracted. I saw your message though. Said thanks for your content. Yeah, no. It's all good. I do it for you guys at the end of the day. Let's see. Yeah, I've talked to Andy I think once or twice. He's a definitely a salesman. Let's see. Good employees hard to find. Yeah, no, that's true. I'm not going to say that that's not true, because I mean it is. Wow, it's already 1:50. I'm going to have to wrap up here in a couple minutes. But that's definitely true. But it's one of them things where, like, we just got, as business owners, like, we have to realize that just comes with the territory at the end of the day. And you're probably going to go through, especially in the service industry, you're going to go through people. Now, of course, there's things that we can do. We can develop as leaders, lead by example, because it's easy. I compare it to, like, whenever, you're telling your kids, right? For those of you that have kids, you'll probably resonate with this a little bit. Like, it's hard to tell your kids, hey, don't do that, and then you're literally doing that, right? Like, you got to lead by example. Same thing in business. it's easier to, I'm not going to say convert a bad employee to a good employee or anything, but maybe an employee who's coming in, which obviously, we could get into a whole nother subject on, your hiring process too, your vetting process and all that. And I'll get into that more as I even, develop more into that role myself as we continue to, grow and hire people and things of that nature. But, there's definitely a lot of things that you can do. It's just, eventually there's going to be bad apples that squeak through, right? It's just going to happen from time to time. But like I said, there's a lot of things that you can do as well, that can, patch those holes. And I compare it to like the old metaphor about, what's the little story about, or not story, but you know, the holes in the bucket, right? When you have a bunch of holes in your bucket, obviously in this example, a lot of bad employees are going to get through that bucket, right? But if you start doing things like focusing on your self-development, focusing on leading by example, you know, you start patching all those holes in the bucket, the fewer holes you have in the bucket, the fewer bad employees are going to get through those holes, right? So, you know, like I said, I mean, like everything in business, it's a work in progress, but, you know, one of those things, right? Pest control services, or do you focus your expertise in one area? Our fuel bill is $1,500, $2,000 a month, man. Pest control services, or do you focus your expertise in one area? I don't focus on like just one thing specifically. I mean, of course, general pest control is kind of our bread and butter, just because, you know, in the Dallas, Texas area, bugs are everywhere pretty much all year round. I mean, like right now, it's not even 2 o'clock in the afternoon and it's 60 degrees. We've had a lot of rain, winter, you know, we tend to get a lot of rain during the winter months, and that, you know, feeds into bug activity. So, you know, I just got charged my $500 from Google Ads. That's always fun. But no, you know, that is the bread and butter, but, you know, there's not one area specifically where, like, I just literally focus on or limit ourselves to. Like, we do it all at the end of the day. General pest control, termite control, bed bug removal, wildlife, you know, not just removal, but, you know, the rodent exclusion service where we're buttoning up the homes, all that good stuff ultimately. And that's what I would suggest you guys do too. Like, for those of you that are specifically like in the early stages of looking to start your business, don't go into it, you know, thinking I'm just going to do X, because the more that you limit yourself, the more you're limiting your company's revenue potential, right? Because if you go in thinking, well, I just want to do general pest control. Okay, well, how are you planning on getting big contracts then? Because all the big money is in rodent exclusion work, termite work. You know, I guess you could get commercial work for general pest control, but even then, a lot of times they want some type of rodent control with rodent baiting. So it's like, you know, don't limit your potential in terms of services. Now, could there be things that maybe, you know, long term, hey, I want to do this, but, you know, I'm going to start out by doing this. Like, maybe, for example, you don't have a lot of experience in wildlife work, right? Let's say you know a lot about pests and termite. Okay, well then maybe go all in on pests and termite. Start networking with a couple of other business owners in your area and be like, hey, you know, I see your work. Your work looks awesome. You know, butter them up, right? And then just offer, be like, hey, could I just like tag along and help you for, you know, a job or two? Like, don't make it seem like you're trying to just learn from them and, you know, take what they know and go run off with it, right? Just be like, you know, I'm kind of slow right now. Like, do you need any help that, you know, I could just come and, you know, help you out with, or nothing else? Just, you know, make your life a little easier, right? And just offer it for free, because, like, again, talk about paying tuition, you know, either you go and learn from someone who's been there, done that, doing it, or you learn the hard way doing it yourself, taking forever on job sites, probably messing some shit up early on, right? Wasting material, probably having callbacks because you're just missing stuff, right? And that's just from a rodent exclusion service side of things. So, yeah, I mean, my freaking numbers rubbing on my chair. Hopefully y'all don't hear that. It almost sounds like a little toot. Thank you for chatting today. Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much, I think that's a good place to wrap it up, is, you know, just don't be afraid to, you know, step out of your comfort zone, offer, you know, some of your services to people, because let's be real, you don't have a whole lot to bring to the table in that case of the exclusion service. You know, offer your, you know, your body, if nothing else, for free. For, you know, most of those jobs take no more than a couple to a few hours. So, you know, just do what you got to do to learn the information, and then, you know, implement that into your business, and then put your own spin on it from there, because everybody does everything different at the end of the day. So, Yeah, I think that's a good point to, end this stream here. We've been live for about an hour now. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the stream today. If you did, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any of the future live streams or videos that we post for you guys. We're trying to consistently go live once a week on the weekends specifically for you guys. I'm trying to schedule those in advance too. That way you guys see it, hit the little notify me button. That way you'll be notified when we go live and all of that. And of course, don't be shy about asking your questions, things of that nature. And yeah, as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Go Chiefs and go Lions, by the way. Shout out to the Lions making it this far. I called it when they beat us week 1. I called it. I said, don't be surprised if the Lions win 12 to 14 games this year. They hit right on 12. I figured they'd win 13-14, not going to lie. They should have beat Dallas, by the way. But different subject for a different channel, maybe. But, yeah, no. Hopefully y'all have a good rest of your weekend. And like I said, if you have any questions after this goes from a live to a video, just drop it in the comments down below. Otherwise, I will